Jaros for Thomas McGinn, NOLA.com, Brandon Sampson, Madison Prep again. We were talking Thursday about being Player of the Year stuff, and you said you hadn't heard a whole lot from other schools, and then the next day you get the news Steve Lavin and St. John's have decided to part ways. What was your immediate reaction, and what's the last 4 or 5 days been like for you?
I'd say the immediate reaction, I was a little surprised, coming in because you just on ESPN recently that day, just seeing him sign a 2-year extended contract. So it was pretty shocking to hear that news. But last 5 days, yeah, it's been kind of like a lot of talking, a lot of calls. Because once everybody's seen that I was open, so some of the previous schools and some new schools that saw that and calling me a lot. But it's been all right. I guess it's okay to know you have options. At least you have options. So.
I know when I talked to Coach Jones, Coach Jeff Jones over here, not long after the news broke, he said he'd already heard from 15 schools. I'm sure that's plenty more now. You talked to Arizona this morning. Who have been some of the people you've heard from, and what have been kind of some of the things that you've heard?
Yeah, most of the contact through most of the schools I've talked to have been through Coach Jones, which are like a lot of coaches. But some coaches have hit me directly are LSU, SMU, Oklahoma State, USC, and schools like that, and VCU. Yeah, VCU. So yeah, they've been talking to me. That's the schools have been talking to me directly to me. But other schools have been talking to Coach Jones. I know Coach Jones. He talked to UCLA. He said Louisville had an interest. It's quite other schools, but it's been a couple of them, so I'm just taking everything in right now.
What's kind of your mindset when listening to all this? Because you thought 2-3 months ago that you were done with this part of it, and then we talked Friday, and you said, yeah, I'm just kind of reevaluating things. What are you looking for when you hear from people?
I don't want to jump into anything too fast, so I don't want to really just tell anybody what I'm looking for, but it's one concern I have with going to any school, just starting as a freshman, going somewhere where somebody's going to get me better. So that's basically what I want to hear. You telling me, coming or calling me, I don't want to hear anything about playing to the system or coming off the bench. I want to come in and play big minutes as a freshman.
The news comes out Monday. Chris Mullin is going to be the head coach at St. John's. They're expecting him to be announced today, Tuesday. He's a guy that, for people a couple years older than you, my age, we remember him, somewhat with the Warriors and then with the Pacers, making the finals and all those All-Star games and stuff like that. You haven't had a chance to hear from him yet?
No, not yet.
You have any thoughts on that hire? A guy he's been in the league. He's been on an Olympic team. He's been around the league in front office type deals. He went to St. John's. Any initial thoughts when you heard that? You kind of heard a little bit about him.
Yeah, it was a couple of thoughts. Cause I wasn't gonna completely cross St. John's out of this situation just because of the coach. You never know, somebody could better for the game or whatsoever that situation. But I was still gonna evaluate the staff. With him, Chris Mullin coming in, NBA player. And with all that under his belt, just being an Olympic team, like you said, coming in great alumni of St. John's. So it couldn't be a bad thing at all going in under him. He knows what it takes. He's been there. He's played in it. So it wouldn't be a bad thing at all going under him.
Everybody knew you could shoot, which everyone knows you can do. So y'all have plenty to talk about just hitting threes and whatnot. Talking, I guess, more specifically about LSU, there were a lot of folks in Baton Rouge that hoped that you might stay home, like Jarrell did a couple years ago. What have you heard from them? Has it been any different than what you heard before the original commitment, or what's been their kind of pitch?
No, it's just coming in. They're just talking to them a lot. They've called me all 3 days, but they just talked to me about just coming into their system and being one of the top players in the SEC, or going along with Ben and Antonio. So yeah, they're just really trying to form in a great team with us 3 freshmen coming in. So if it was to be me going there, that's what they were mainly talking about, just having us all starting as freshmen and playing big minutes. So I'm just evaluating it all. I just don't want to jump into anything too fast. I mean, everything every coach calls you and says is going to sound good. I mean, no school is really going to try to bump their school down more than they try to bump it up. So, yeah, I'm just trying to evaluate everything, all of my options. I don't want to wait too late. Just don't want to jump into it too early. So.
Yeah. With Jarrell announcing a week ago that he's going to the NBA, is that something that you think about at all? Whether Jarrell is there or not there, would you like the idea of going to play there with Jarrell any more than you like the idea of playing there regardless? Or at this point, I mean, you can't really worry too much about what he's doing?
Oh, yeah, that would be a big I think that would be a lot of fun, just going back to play with him if I was to go there. I think so that'll build some of the chemistry up on the team, you know. I've been knowing most of those guys maybe since my 9th and 10th grade year, so with them going there, I've seen that he's matured a lot from going there. He's learned that going in there, it wasn't going to be easy. So, but yeah, playing under him or playing with him, yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun. And seeing where he's going, I think that's really good.
A lot of the schools that are involved had some early losses. Obviously, St. John's had dealt with a big injury during the year, and they lose in the first round. LSU has that heartbreaker. UCLA is a team that you were pretty interested in, that people thought maybe shouldn't have been in the tournament in the first place. Next thing you know, they're making a deep run. How much did you watch the tournament, and does any kind of success, postseason success this year, mean much in terms of any of this, or it's more just kind of what we were talking about before?
I mean, a lot of all that matters. I mean, you don't want to go somewhere. I mean, you're just losing. But I'm saying, you're gonna evaluate. I evaluated a lot during the NCAA tournament, especially the schools that recruited me. Just seeing how far they go, seeing like the system, how they played, their type of offense, main players, key players, who's at the 2-guard spot, what are they doing that's making their team better. So that's what I evaluated a lot, and especially making it to that NCAA tournament. That's a big plus for schools that recruited me. So definitely UCLA, I think they didn't do too bad, and at least they made it there. So I think that's a big plus, just making it to that NCAA tournament, because it's not the easiest thing to get in.
Yeah. Any of these Final Four teams that will be playing this weekend that they're talking to you? Kentucky, Wisconsin, Duke, Michigan State?
No, not any of those.
No. Yeah, we have a news writer, Quincy Hodges, that went to Michigan State. He's like, yo, I gotta talk to B-Sam. We gotta give him Michigan State. I told him I'd ask about Sparty for him. But yeah, any other thoughts on? I mean, do you have a time frame in mind of? Obviously, you're just kind of taking it all in right now. But do you have a point where you hope to have figured this out, or not? You haven't even gotten to that point yet.
No, I mean, it's a good time. I don't want to wait too late to the point where I can't go to the summer and go to a program and be productive, because I don't want to wait till like August and then try to get into the season. I want to get there as early as I can so I can start adapting to that collegiate level and just start getting on the weights.
There you go. Brandon Sampson over at Madison Prep, just kind of evaluating those options now after all the shakeup at St. John's the last week. For NOLA.com, the Times Picayune, Jarrett Roser.